Okay, guys. Just like to introduce myself. My name is John Grace. I'm the CEO of North52. Most of you guys have, probably know about North52 already and what we do around our formula manager solution for dynamic CRM. And today we just wanted to, and just to say that Bruce Buxton is on the line as well. Bruce is the business development manager for North52 and handles all partners. So today we really wanted to share with you that we have about 10 days ago we released a version of our product that is now CRM 2013 compatible. So you can download that today, install it, and it's all up and running. And then the other pieces of news we wanted to give you was we have some new features coming down the pipeline very shortly, at the end of next week actually, called Process Genie. So we think this is going to be a big feature, and this is going to be the core of the presentation today, just talking about it and showing you how it's going to help you with your CRM 2013 deployments. Just to mention as well that we're doing a bit of a rebranding and renaming of the product. So Formula Manager is just going to be one component of the product, and we're just renaming it to Business Process Activities, because we're going to have the Formula Manager, we're going to have Process Genie, we have the Scheduler Manager, there's a command console, and there's a couple of other pieces that we have coming down as well. So we just need to have an umbrella name for all the components. So that's cool. So the big problem that we're seeing, and it's kind of similar in CRM 2011 land as well, that with CRM 2013, Microsoft are going to start pushing a lot with real-time workflows and actions. These are two huge features from Microsoft, and instead of having all, if you've done CRM 2011 or CRM 4 or 3, you're probably aware that on any medium or large sized CRM installations, there's a lot of spaghetti plugins. What I mean by that is there's just heaps and heaps of code inside the plugins hooked up to the create event of the accounts, the delete event, and then some of that code is shared across on the contact entity, on custom entities, and it gets really, really tricky to maintain all that code. And I think Microsoft are after seeing that problem, and they're after bringing in real-time workflows and actions and some other features in CRM 2013 to try and get away from writing all those plugins. And we've been working with Microsoft on the beta for the past couple of months, and we're there, okay, how can we take advantage of this new functionality that they have? So our solution is, which is part of Business Process Activities, is we're introducing Process Genie, and it's a single custom workflow activity to rule them all. The way we see from CRM 2013 onwards, maybe not all, but a good 70–80% of custom developments, you won't be doing plugins anymore. You're going to see your development team writing using real-time workflows or normal async ones with actions, and they're going to be writing small, discrete custom workflow activities. So there's still going to be issues around those custom workflow activities. There are some limitations. You've got to declare a lot of your input and output parameters, and things are very, very fixed. So what we've decided to do is come up with Process Genie so that you can write really generic and reusable custom workflow activities within your processes. So that's everything from dialogues to the workflows to the new actions. And it gives you total flexibility. And I've got about 6 or 7 demos later on, which I'm going to show you some of the power that you can that you can use a Process Genie. I guess our biggest advantage, here's just some of them. You guys are probably aware of a lot of them, but the biggest one is we're native to the Dynamic CRM. So we're an add-on solution. You install it within CRM 2013, and with Process Genie as well, it's native. So we're able to take advantage of a lot of the Microsoft plumbing and their SDK, and I'll show you that in some of the demos as well. And the key thing is, it's all backed off of, like, Process Genie. It's not a big, huge change. It's really just leveraging a lot of the existing pieces of functionality we have around Formula Manager and around the Excel-like formulas, and using those in your dialogues, in your workflows, etc. The other big advantage that
are you sharing your screen? I can't see the presentation at the moment.
You can't see the, yeah, Can you see it now, Bruce?
Yes.
Okay. Tell you what, let me just go back through the slides very quickly. So that was just the first slide, guys. We're just recording this presentation as well. So there was the problem overview, just about the spaghetti plugins and about how CRM 2013 is changing how development will be done with Dynamic CRM. Then our solution, which is Process Genie, it's part of business process activities, so it's just a module within it, and it's a single custom workflow activity. Our big advantage, we're fully native with Dynamic CRM, and it runs on-premise, IFD, and online. And then I was just on this slide, and one of our big advantages is that we've got 160 plus, I think it's actually probably 170 plus by now, functions built in, and everything from date time to we've introduced some new web services, regular expressions, etc., etc. And this saves your developers having to write all these code pieces or having reusable libraries, and we just have it all done for you. We're up on Pinpoint on the marketplace, so if you guys want to go up there and take a look at some of the reviews that people have been leaving, and if you already are a customer or you're even using the free version, if you'd like to leave us a review, that'd be fantastic. The more the better. And just on this slide as well, just the one point, especially that Bruce does a lot of work with, is we're trying to sign up more. If you're a Microsoft partner, like a gold or silver CRM partner, we definitely want to talk to you. So we've got a whole reseller program set up now where we can give you help with technical pre-sales. You get discounts for signing up as a reseller, and a few other bits and pieces that we have. So definitely talk to myself or Bruce. If you're a Microsoft partner, we can really help out. And it'll really help you to get more sales and get more business. This is just a slide of just some of our existing paying customers that we have up. We've got lots and lots of guys on the free version. We'd love everyone to become a paying customer as well, obviously. So hopefully when you see a lot of the new functionality from Process Genie that is worth the upgrade. And then this is just some links to some public commentary. The slides will be available for download on the website. And then just some next steps, where you can download or check us out, the training videos, etc. So that's just the slides, so not too long there. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just, Bruce, can everyone see my screen on CRM 2013, or can you see it?
Yes, I can see it fine.
Okay, perfect. So this is CRM 2013. It's running CRM online in the cloud, so this will be a live presentation, so anything can go wrong. Hopefully my broadband will be fast enough. And this is the latest version of BPA, so Business Process Activities. So we're releasing this, by the way, next Friday, so you'll be available for download. And you'll see we're after adding in some extra quick links just to get to some of our pages and formulas. So you can see here we've got some quick links to a list of all the formulas, to open the configuration. It's now a lot easier if you want to create any of our formula types. It's easy just to click on a button and jump straight in there. Same for the schedules. It's easy just to create one. You see we've added the new Process Genie down here, and we've also got this command console, which I'll talk about later. If I just click on BPA Home, just to show you now we have a home page again. It just has some extra information around what the different formula types are, and again you can click on any one of these links and it'll jump you off to create a new formula or a new Process Genie. So I'll just close that. So the first example I'm going to show you today, it's a little bit of magic. So Bruce and I were talking and we were saying how can we show the guys some magic. So because it's always going to be with Process Genie. So I'm just going to open up a CRM record here, Microsoft, and I have a Process Genie hooked up to a real-time workflow. So this is a new feature from CRM 2013, and I'm just going to type in here. Just going to type in some French into the local description, and I've just hit save. And what we're doing is we're calling the Process Genie behind the scenes using a real-time workflow. And the scenario here is there's lots of companies globally that they need to be able to enter in all their data in their local language, and so like if you're French or German, and store it in your local description, but they're like a global American company, so their base language when they talk to everyone is English. So we're able to do the translation from merci beaucoup and put in a global description of thank you very much, so it's able to do that translation, and Process Genie enables you to do that. What it's doing behind the scenes is we've just added some web services calls to use Bing Translate. So we're just using the Microsoft web services. They're publicly available API, so you can just sign up for an account, put your account details into our configuration object, and you can get global translations. And just to show you, it works for Unicode as well. So this is just some Japanese. I hit save. So you could imagine there's a Japanese user, they're typing it in. Again, I'm doing it in real time. In reality, you do this async, but I just wanted to show you it running live. And when the Bing Translate comes back with the message, you can see there it's just translated this Japanese into new release of CRM 2013 is great. So just a little bit of magic there to show you that using Bing Translate and Process Genie, for global deployments, it makes it very easy. So what I'd like to show you is how is that done. So I'm just going to go to my processes, and I'm going to show you that real-time workflow. And the interesting thing with the real-time workflow is, where's my global translate, is that it's got the Process Genie included. And the Process Genie, it's really super easy to configure. So I'm just waiting for this to come up. So you can see here, this is it's a real-time workflow, so this is new from CRM 2013. It executes on the create and on the field change, so it's obviously on the change of the description field. And you can see here's the Process Genie. So it's saying perform the translation to global language. So I'm just going to deactivate the workflow just for a moment so I can show you, pardon me, some of the details of it. So this one Process Genie completed all that translation work. So if I do set properties, you can see there's two parameters, that's all there ever is, shortcode and the parameter XML. So the shortcode, this is just says which formula to reference and execute as part of the Process Genie. So RP1, it's just a shortcode. And then for some super advanced scenarios, it's very, very advanced, we can pass in parameters as well. So we have a parameter XML field. And just to show you what it looks like, if I do add step, so when you install the product, we just add in North52 and N52 Process Genie. So you can reference any of our 160 functions by just using Process Genie and include them in any of your real-time workflows, async, actions, dialogues, etc. So it's super, super powerful, and we're hoping that that people will really love this feature. So that this Process Genie, it referenced the formula RP1. So just to show you what that formula looks like, and you can see in this one, the Process Genie did everything. I'll show you some others where it's able to pass data in and out. So if I just open up so this is a list of all the active formulas in the system. So if I open up, where is it? It's on the accounts record. So here's the Process Genie. So this is what the formula looks like that performed that translation. So it's just loading up. So you can see here there's a new formula type of Process Genie. It was set to run on the account entity, and then we just have a function here called update record. So updating the account record for the current account record that we were on. So I was on the Microsoft account, and then we're doing set an attribute, the new global description, and then we just have this translate function. So this is a new function that we've added in, and it takes in a parameter of the account description, and you can see there we have a second parameter of EN stands for English. So if you needed a base language of French, you put in FR. If you need German, it's DE, Spanish, etc., etc. So whatever language you need. We could have changed this and just had the Process Genie doing the translate bit and not having the update record. And then what would happen is we have parameters on our Process Genie, so you can pass back that parameter that that translation as a string, and then you can use it in all the other steps in your workflow. But this one, it does the update as well, and this update's important. So, if you're more technically inclined, one of the tricky bits with custom workflow activities in any version of CRM is that you need to declare all your input parameters and your output parameters, and especially around the account reference or a contact reference. They're very fixed and static. I don't know if you've run into any of those problems doing core development, but because we're native and we're inside CRM, we can just call our update record, and you can tell what entity to reference. So it's super powerful. So let me just close that. So that's just the first demo. The second scenario is around, I want to show you some of the improvements that we've made around being able to update child records and how you can do it with a process Genie. So the scenario here is we have accounts and contacts. So I'm going to open up my account record here, and it's a very common scenario where if the actually it's the North52 one I want. If we change the address on the account record, how can we update all of its children? And it's a classic CRM problem that a lot of people have to solve, but also for solving, like, for any other record updates, like updating a quote with all its quote details. How can you easily do that? And we've made some improvements as well. So I'm just going to go in here, and I'm just going to put an 8 on the end of all the addresses, just something very simple. I'm going to click Done, and then I'm going to hit Save. And what's happening is there's a process Genie behind the scenes wired up, and it's going to update all the child records, all the child contact records for North52. So if I just close this, and if I go to my contact list here, so I updated the North52 account. So here's the screen before I hit refresh. So you can see North52. There's 3 contacts: Bruce Buxton, John Grace, and Anthony Williams. You can see the addresses: Barry's Court and Carrigtwohill and County Cork. So if I hit refresh now, the process Genie should have run in the background, and it will update. And you can see there it's got 8. So that's just showing you the change that has come through. So again, just very quickly to show you the processes. So where's the sync address? So again, just showing you how it's hooked up against the process. So again, you can see it's really simple. You've just got the process Genie included. You give it the reference to the formula, and it will do it. So it's super easy to hook into the Microsoft part of it. And then just to show you the formula, and this is where we've made a lot of improvements. Yep, here it is. So this one here. So in the past, we had a dedicated formula type for save to children, and that's still valid. It's still there in the product. But you did have to create a formula detail record, and it's for really, it's for advanced scenarios. If you need to do really complicated stuff, the save to children is still very valid. But what we've done is we've taken a lot of the feedback from people and said, okay, how can we make this easier to update child records? So we've introduced some new functions. One is for each record. So effectively now we're able to give you the power to add looping within your custom workflow activities or within your actual formulas. So that's something that Microsoft, they don't have at the moment in workflows or in actions or dialogues, is the ability to do loops. So we're introducing this this new function. The function takes 2 parameters. The first one is you say what records do you want to loop over. So we have another new function called find records, and find records, you just pass in a couple of parameters. You're saying find me all the records on the contact entity where the parent customer ID equals the current account ID, and return me the contact ID. So that's really just saying, I'm on North52, the account record. Can I please have all the contacts associated with that account record? So it's just 3 contacts in the demo I showed you. And then how do you update all those addresses? Then we have, and we've had this functionality for a long time, update record. So we're saying update the account, update the contact record where the current record is contact ID, and then we're just saying call the set attribute. So on the contact, set the address line 1 equal to the account address line 1, and we just do that for all of the all of the attributes. So you can see there how super easy it is to now add in looping constructs into your formulas, into your custom workflow activities. And if you take this a little bit further, so if you need to, some of the guys have asked support questions around, we're importing data and we need to create many-to-many relationships between records. You can use this for each record to loop over a bunch of records, and then just in the platform, we've got this associate entities function call. So guess what? You can replace this update record, put in a associate entities, and that will create you many-to-many relationships behind the scenes. So again, it's something that you can't do today out of the box with CRM, even CRM 2013. But using Formula Manager, or actually DPA, I should be calling it, you can easily do that today. So hopefully that's a big new feature that we have for people to experiment around with. The next little feature is, I just want to show you something very small, but it's important. The scenario is that you are creating a phone call, and again, this is just to show you the power of those 160 plus functions that we have. And we've been doing CRM for Bruce and myself, since CRM 3, so about about 7 years actually, both of us each. So, and we were consultants for years, so we know the problems that you're going to run into. Hence, we know the best functions to put in. So I'm just going to add in a phone call here, big op, just call it, and we're going to do the call to just say Blue Yonder. So there's a tricky part here. So the scenario is you want to populate this phone number field now with the phone number from Blue Yonder. So when I click save, I'm just going to let it save. Again, I've got a process Genie behind the scenes. It's hooked up as a asynchronous workflow, and it's just running behind the scenes now, and it's going into Blue Yonder Airlines, and it's retrieving the telephone number, and it's going to populate it into this phone number field. Now you might think that that's very easy to do, but behind the scenes, if you know the way the phone call entity and a lot of other entities, this from and the to lists, they're all of data type party list. So it's very difficult. In fact, you can't actually work with a party list data type in any of your existing workflows or actions or dialogues. So we provide functions that can do that. So I'm just going to hit refresh on the screen there, and we should see the phone number pop in. And then I'm just going to show you the process. So it's just refreshing. So you can see the phone number pops in. So very quickly, let me show you the process for that and how it's all wired up using Process Genie. So this is the phone number one, copy number. And this one is interesting. So in the previous two examples, Process Genie did everything. So it had the update record or the update command within it. So in this stage, you've seen here's Process Genie. It's just like before, it retrieves the telephone number. So it's just calling the formula. But if I just deactivate this just to show you guys, we can also pass parameters back out of Process Genie so that you can use it later on in your workflows, dialogues, actions, etc. So update phone call. So just to show you this. So there's the phone number, and we're saying results string retrieve the phone number. So just to show you what that looks like, so we scroll down here. So here's Process Genie, so, retrieve the phone number, and you can see here we've. Let me get onto the field here. You can see here we've got results from the Process Genie. So booleans, date, time, integers, strings, and money. So any of some of the core data types you can just return from Process Genie, and you reuse that result in any of your workflow steps that you have later on. For ones, so and this is one of the key tricky bits with Dynamic CRM is putting references to accounts or contacts. They all have to be declared before you deploy your custom workflow activity. Hence why we can't even put them in here. But because we've got the update record function, we can actually in the formula itself target those fields, and it's a big advantage that we have, that we don't need to be able to return out the account reference or the contact reference. You can just reference it directly in the formula. And just to show you the formula behind the scenes that does that, it's an interesting one. Again, just showing you some of the power of Formula Manager and Process Genie. So again, it's just a standard Process Genie set up in the account record, and you can see here the formula. Actually, I've opened up the wrong one. Sorry about that. Where's phone number? This is the correct formula. So this is where I was mentioning earlier on that the to and the from in on the phone call, it's a party list, and it's really difficult. You always have to get a developer involved to manipulate and get some of the data. But we've got some dedicated functions. So when we hit save on that phone call, and we're calling this formula behind the scenes, we're saying get party list item. So it's going to say, okay, what type of entity are you hooked up to? Is it an account? Is it a contact? Is it a lead? And you can see here we just have a case statement, and we say when it's an account record, then can you perform a find value function? And if you're not familiar with Formula Manager, this is again a super powerful function that allows you to look up any value in any record in any CRM entity. So super powerful. You can reach out and get anywhere, especially when you hook it into the Process Genie. And in this instance, it's saying look up the account entity where the account ID equals, and then we have another function, get party list item, and the to, and just return me the telephone number. And then you can see if it's a contact, we have to do the lookup on the contact entity to pull out its telephone number. And if we needed to add in leads, it's easy just to add in another when statement, wire up the lead, and you're ready to go. So just showing you the power of using the case statement and how accounts and contacts you can retrieve back different records depending on what the user has entered. So a really useful feature there. The next demo I'm going to show you is around, let me open up accounts. So the scenario here is, it's one that a lot of our customers have. I'll open up North52. They want to store a running total or a running balance of all open opportunities, and this could be for custom entities as well. For like, you've got an entity to store business transactions, and as transactions get added, you want to sum up the sum of all the transactions and store the value on the account record. But the scenario I've set up for us today is the open opportunities record. Here I've added a field called open ops. So if I go and add a new opportunity, I'm not too sure why CRM Online is doing this. So I'm just going to add a new opportunity here. So it should come up with the new feature. Yeah, so this is the quick create, so it makes it super easy for people to add in data. So I'm going to say peak new op. It's the account is with Microsoft. I'm going to put in the estimated revenue. So this is the field that we're going to sum up over time. I'm going to set it to £2,500. I'm going to click save. And what's happening behind the scenes is that there's a Process Genie. It's an asynchronous one, and it's running behind the scenes, and it's doing a sum over all the open opportunities for Microsoft, and it's going to populate this open ops field. So I'm just going to hit F5, and just to refresh the page, and we should see the open ops populated with £2,500. So you can see there's open ops populated with £2,500, and then if let me just show you. I don't know why this is not coming back. So let me just go the long way around. If I just go to open opportunities and I just do refresh here. So here's a big new op for £2,500 from Microsoft. So if I close this as 1, so I mark it closed as 1, and I do OK. So now it's not an open opportunity anymore. It's gone into the 1 category. Again, behind the scenes, there's an asynchronous workflow with a Process Genie, and if I go back to my account and I open it up right now, we should see that 2,500 that we had up in the top right hand corner is back down to 0. So yes, you can see that the open opportunities is back to 0 because we've closed the opportunity. So this is again another feature I'm going to show you. The process to hook it up actually. Let me show you some open opportunities. So we've made some advanced functions as well to help you out. So we took a lot of feedback from people saying, we'd like to be able to run these, sum, average, counts, and to make it easier. And we've done that in the formulas. So you can see here it's got 2 steps. So actually this workflow, just to show you, it's hooked up when a record is created, when the status changes, so an opportunity from open to 1. If the fields change, so if you changed the estimated revenue field, you wanted to update as well. Let me just show you that quickly. So if the estimated revenue changes, or if the record is deleted. So any of those core actions or events that might happen in Microsoft, we're saying call this workflow, and the workflow it calls Process Genie. So again, it's just got to reference a formula. Process Genie is going to return back out the amount of money for the sum of the open opportunities, and it's going to update then the account record. So you can see here, I'll just show you this part. So here's the open ops, and you can see here the result of the money from the Process Genie calc open ops. So just show you, it's just the standard stuff, but just to show you the formula behind that and the advances that we've made around it. So here's the formula. So in the past, you had to, if you're familiar with Formula Manager, you had to create a formula detail record, define your using the advanced find, define your fetch XML. But now we've reduced it down, and let me just make this a little bit easier for you to read. We've reduced it down, everything down to just this one single function call, which what it's saying is look at the opportunity entity, and then sum up. Do a sum on the opportunity entity. Where the account ID and the state code, and then the next parameter is the current account ID that you're on, and 0 means the open opportunities. So we're saying run a sum for open opportunities for this particular account ID, and then run the sum on the estimated value, and sum up those values. If there's no records there, then it sets it to 0, and then this is just our no lock. So if you're in a very high loading of transactions, or you're doing things in parallel, sometimes you need to change the database to issue a no-lock command, so you can do true or false here. So we've made it super easy now for people to write these functions and use them in Process Genie to sum up records or to do a finding of accounts. So if I go to find here, so you see there's a bunch of these new functions being added in. Find the average, the counts, the max, sum, and a bunch of other things that you can go through in our online knowledge base to get some documentation on. But this makes it really easy to sum up records and then store the value anywhere you want. So that's pretty good. One of the other items that lots of people ask us is, it's great adding in that feature to sum up all the open opportunities, but guys, we've got 5,000 existing accounts, and we need to update all our existing data with the total for the open opportunities. So if I just go to my accounts here, so you can see here I've just got some accounts, and they're all at 0. So these are all your existing accounts. But I know that there's lots of open opportunities. Well, there's 5. So how can I get these values on this account? So how can we update that? So we've introduced a new formula type and a new capability called called Command Console. So if you're familiar with just the Command Console from Microsoft, we're trying to replicate this in CRM so that you can issue any function or any command against the CRM database. So this is again, we think it's a huge feature for anyone to be able to execute commands against the Dynamics CRM. It's a little bit like if you're familiar with SQL Server, SQL Query Analyzer, where you can run an update statement on your SQL Server database. We're now giving you that same power in Dynamics CRM using a command console. So what we have here is, you can see it strips away a lot of the other bits of the fields, and what we have is we have a function for each record. So it's just like we've seen before, and it's saying the first parameter says find records, so find me all the account records, and * means all records, returning me the account ID. So we're saying retrieve all the accounts, loop over them, and then I want you to issue an update command, so update record on the accounts, setting the new open op, so this is just a field that I'm after adding in, and then run the find sum command. So you can see there, it's once you learn the syntax, it's a bit like Query Analyzer. Once you learn it, it's easy. And then we've got this new capability to actually execute this command against your CRM database to update all the account records. So we put up a bit of a warning. So this will interact, this is your production CRM system. This will update your production CRM system. So you need to be super careful about running it. So at the moment, the command is running behind the scenes. It's retrieved all the account records. It's then, for each account record, it said, get me the open opportunities and then update the account record. So you've seen it's now completed. If you close it, now if I go to my account listing, they're all 0. If I hit refresh here, you can see there it's just updated Alpine Ski, Blue Company, Blue Yonder, etc. So we've just like in the command prompt, or we've just issued like a command against the CRM database, find me all accounts and set their open opportunity records. So that's very, very powerful. And one of the questions from yesterday was how can you lock down that feature, because it is so powerful. So again, only somebody with system administrator rights, or only someone with the North52 administrator security role can issue those commands against the database. It's also pretty good for, we had another question around actually we used it ourselves for updating entities like the opportunity line items or the quote line items. That they're not entities that you can reference in workflow. So a lot of the time, people, to update these open opportunities, they'd write a workflow and they put in some values inside there, and then they'd run the workflow over all the records. But you can't do that on quote details, invoice line items. But guess what? You can write a command and it will update all those records. So when you start thinking about it, it opens up a lot of new opportunities within Dynamics CRM. So we hope you like that. The next scenario I'm going to show you is around showing you how we can interact with some of the new features, the new action feature from Microsoft. So that actions are a new type of process. So you've got actions, real-time workflows, dialogues, and the scenario we're going to show you is you have an opportunity and a sales guy exceeds his discount level. So we're setting a discount level of, let's say, I think it's 2,000. So let me show you the formula first. And basically what we've done is we've added in a new function called execute action. So at the moment, this new feature from Microsoft, you can't do it anywhere in your custom, you can't do it with any of the out-of-the-box functionality. You can't execute an action. You've got to get a developer to write some code, either JavaScript to call it, or use your own custom workflow activity. So what we've decided to do is add in a new function called execute action, and I'll show you the action in a moment. So, and it just takes in some parameters, the name of the action, the name of the entity, so opportunity that you're going to be running on, the opportunity ID that you're going to be, so the particular opportunity, and then one of the great new features in 2013 from Microsoft is with actions is you can pass in parameters. So this is the first time that we've had this capability. So we've made sure that for any of those parameters that you have, that in our formula, execute action, you can pass in a parameter. So I have just one parameter, the discount limit, and I've set it to £2,000. So basically, if any sales guy gives a discount greater than £2,000, then the manager should be notified, and it's going to call an action behind the scenes. So let me just close that and just show you some opportunities. And if I just open an existing opportunity, if I just scroll down here, actually let me just remove, there's a bit of test data I had from before. Just remove that. So if I go here to my discount and I put in 4,000, so that's exceeded the, and just hit save, and that's exceeded the discount limit of 2,000, which was a parameter to the action. You can see here it's created a new record. Large discount, please review. So it's created this email, this notification email to the manager. So just to show you how that's wired up, and sorry, here's the discount action. So this is the new feature in 2013, actions, and you can see the action is just set up to run on a field change, and again it just calls the process Genie to call it, and so this process Genie executes the action, and then if I show you the actual action itself, where's the action? There it is. Just going blind for a second. So here's the action that we have. So you can see here's the new feature, the discount limit being passed in, and then you can see here where it's making a check that if the user has exceeded their discount limit, then send an email to the user so he can approve it. So again, just showing you how you can call actions using Process Genie. So that's the core of the 6 or 7 demo items I just wanted to show you today. So hopefully you can see there, we've added a lot of new functionality into the product. We're just speaking about Process Genie. There's a whole bunch of other features that we'll do in some other webinars. But again, just to state that we do see that with CRM 2013, Microsoft is moving development towards using dialogues, workflows and actions, and getting away from writing all these spaghetti plugins. And therefore we were introducing a new feature called Process Genie, which allows you to take advantage, instead of writing a lot of custom activities, you can just use Process Genie, and it'll get you up to speed a lot faster. So I'm just going to look at some of the questions here that we have. So one of the questions from Rian Mutan, are you possibly plan to consider to take North52 to other flavors, NAV or GP? Not at the moment. I mean, we have looked at it, and we've looked at SharePoint as well, bringing in some advanced types of formulas to SharePoint and to GP, but not at the moment. It's not high up on our roadmap, but it is something that we've thought about. And if the CRM one takes off enough, and we can do some analysis to see is the marketplace big enough. Basically, in CRM it is, because it just doesn't have the feature of formulas. I do know in GP or NAV, I forget which one, they do have calculated fields and calculated columns. So whether there's enough of a marketplace there is a question mark. So I'll just wait on for another little bit to see if there's any other questions. And yeah, the PowerPoint will be available, and also this recording, just off one of the other questions, it'll be available as well. And again, Process Genie, it's all included with business process activities. And again, there's the standard edition. The first 10 formulas are free, so you can have 10 formulas, 10 schedules, 10 Process Genies, 10 of whatever you want, and that's free. And then the paid starts at the professional edition, where it's 50 formulas, or for the enterprise, which is unlimited. So it's just the same as before.
Sean, there was one other thing we were going to cover, which was the notifications
Okay.
feature in
Yeah, Yeah, just to show you, just to show you one other feature that we've added. So this is around one of the new features from Microsoft in 2013 is you can set notification bar. So what we've done here is, so the scenario here is that you've got users, and when they open up account records, you want to warn them that there's a lot of outstanding invoices. So I've got the category here is a preferred customer, so I'm just going to switch this over to a standard customer. And what's happening behind the scenes is there's a formula executing, and it's doing a sum on the all the open or the outstanding invoices. And you can see there when it's saved the office says this customer is a standard customer and they're over the 50k limit. Do not create any orders. So it's saying, these guys owe us a lot of money. Don't give them any more business until we get down over that 50k. So you can see there we've just hooked up the formula directly into this category. So if I switch it back to the preferred customer, you'll see the formula executes behind the scenes and it goes away. We put it back to the standard. And then it'll pop back up on top as well. So there it is. And then just to show you how easy it is to do that. So again, my list of formulas. Here's my client-side one. So again, there's lots of really good features from Microsoft on the new business process logic, which is fantastic. But when you want to get to some more advanced scenarios, so here's the formula that does that for you. So it's a client-side formula. It's set to run on the create and update event. It's on the account entity, and we support multiple forms. So we've got the information form, and we've also got here, we've got the account form. So it's set to the onload and whenever the category changes. And the formula just says if the account category equals 2, so that means you're a standard customer, then run this find sum. Again, how easy we've made it in the latest release. Instead of doing a formula detail record to define the fetch XML, you just say find sum, and it just sums up all the open invoices, whether it's greater than 50,000, and then it does a new function we have called set form notification. So it just puts up that message to the user, and if they haven't breached it, then if they change, then it does clear notification. So again, just showing you how easy it is, and to take advantage of the new functionality within CRM 2013, where you would have to get a developer involved there to create some JavaScript to make the call to run the sum and then make the decision points of whether it's over 50,000 or not. You can just create one simple client-side formula to perform the calculation and then to show or not to show the form notification. So hopefully there you'll see that it's quite easy. Just one of the other questions that came in from Clayton: will upgrading from N52 Formula Manager to BPA be automatic or clean install? It's automatic. So it's the same core solution. We've just renamed it, and it's just to make it easy for people, so you don't have to uninstall. You just import the latest solution. You will have to run a single workflow to upgrade some of the upgrade some of the formulas and upgrade some of the settings that we have, but it's just one formula that needs to update. So that makes it pretty easy. And actually, just one other item, just around the new version. If I go to solutions here, so one of the bits of feedback we have is how do you deploy from your development to your test to your production system? And at the moment, the way we were telling people is you just export out the formulas to the zip file, and then you can import them to your production system or your test, which is pretty good. But we're getting some feedback that people would like to using native Microsoft solutions. So every time now that you install the product, we create a new solution here, and basically this solution contains all the formulas. So going forward, how you deploy formulas is that you export out your solution. So just like you would do with your solution with your entities and your JavaScript, we can now do it with formulas. So you just do export solution. It creates the zip file, and then you import the solution on your production or your test system, and all the formulas will create themselves. And just to show you what it looks like, so you can see I had about 8 formulas in the system. So you can see each formula is represented by a web resource. So there's a a web resource of XML data. So we've just taken advantage again of the great features that Microsoft have and just reuse that. And every time that a formula, every time you edit a formula or you update it, we keep this in sync. So it makes it super easy to deploy your formulas and your schedules from your development to your test environment. So again, just making things a lot easier for people. Just looking at any other questions. There's no more. What time is it? 10:50. So I'll just wait around for another 30 seconds or so. If there's any questions. Bruce, can you think of anything else that we need to cover? Or
no, I think we've covered everything we were aiming to cover in that scenario. Thanks,
okay,
John.
that's cool. I'm going to wrap it up. So, guys, if anybody has got any questions, John G at North52.com or Bruce B at North52.com, and or even hit us at info at North52.com, and we can help you out if you've got any questions about functionality, pricing, etc. And again, just to say that if you're a Microsoft partner, gold or silver, or please come and talk to us, because we really would like to sign you up as a reseller and start helping your CRM deployments. Thank you very much for your time today, guys, and hope to speak to you in the future.